I'm not defensive about it.
Yes, people, what's happening? Welcome back to the channel and welcome to another transfer video. First things first, guys, make sure you're smashing the likes on the video. Subscribe if you're new around here. And as always, leave your thoughts in the comments. And we are right into the thick of things with the transfer season. The news is coming thick and fast. And in today's video, guys, we're going to be discussing Chelsea and Everton centre-back Jarrad Branthwaite. Now, we know we're looking for a new centre-half. There's been links with Mark Gurhey, Jarrell Hayto and Branthwaite. Those seem to be the three names that are out there. Obviously, there will be others on the list that perhaps aren't as well publicised and out there in the media, but those seem to be the three right now that are generating the most interest. However, The Athletic, Tuesday morning, have reported that Chelsea are not considering Jarrad Branthwaite right now. So that means that doesn't mean that there's not interest or that they won't make a move for him this summer. It just means as things stand right now, a move for Jarrad Branthwaite, according to The Athletic, is not under consideration. Now, this goes against a lot of what we've heard because there's been multiple reports from multiple people and outlets that Chelsea have been considering Branthwaite and have had talks. Now, as expected, with a lot of players we're going to find this summer and clubs, the asking price is way too high. We know Everton are going to do everything they can to keep him. Moyes wants him to stay. And I'd imagine this here could be a Chelsea brief against rejection. You know, there have obviously been talks, but I feel this move for Branthwaite only happens if he pushes for the move. And if Chelsea have made a considerable offer, it obviously would be considered. But this, to me, sounds like a brief from Chelsea to protect themselves against any form of rejection. And they obviously want all transfers to kind of look like a clean transaction. You know, I think this is a brief to protect against rejection with Branthwaite. But yeah, I'm not really sure why that's out there because I think we all know that there is interest in Branthwaite from Chelsea. Now, I'll be honest, guys. I like Branthwaite. I think he's good, but I'm not really seeing a lot of the hype behind him and why he should be playing as a right centre-back alongside anyone at Chelsea Football Club. And I'm not being a hater or anything like that. I do like him, but I just don't look at him as a ceiling raiser. You know, yeah, sure, okay, he may well, he obviously improves our centre-back options and he will improve the back line to a certain degree. But it's not that ceiling raiser. It's not that leader. It's another young centre-back with potential. I mean, guys, if you rate him, what is it you like about Branthwaite? Please let me know in the comments because I'm not fully seeing it. I'm not fully on board with it. And for the amount of money that it's going to potentially cost to bring Jarrad Branthwaite to the club, it absolutely is nowhere near. He's nowhere near worth that money. I mean, Pice on his personal account saying that Chelsea inquired and were told £80 million. Now, that is an absolute no. It's an absolute no-go. I mean, that's more than they wanted last summer from Man United. You know, they were quoting £70 million last summer. United put two bids in that didn't get anywhere near that 70 million. And obviously he stayed at Everton. To add another 10 million on top of that, £80 million, reportedly, Chelsea were told for Jarrad Branthwaite. I mean, it's utterly, utterly mental. Yeah, and at that price, there's no way any deal is being done. I think Chelsea would maybe do a deal at 60. 70 million, I still think is very, very steep for him. You know, if you're spending that sort of money on a centre-back, they should be one of the best going, and they should be someone who's an instant level raiser, instantly improves the back line, comes in to lead it, and is a genuine game changer to the first team. Branthwaite could be those things in a few years, but he's certainly not that thing right now. And if you were even considering parting with, say, 60, 70 million pounds for a centre-half, they need to be a top draw centre-half. I mean, I know this was a while back now, but Virgil van Dijk cost 70, 75 million quid. Branthwaite for 70 or quoted 80. we need to give our heads a wobble here. We need to give our heads a wobble here, guys, because under no circumstances is he worth that money. I would say at tops, he's a £60 million defender. And even then, I think that's slightly pushing it. But what this does do is beg the question, who are we going to go for at centre-back? Because Jarrell Hato gets spoken about, but he's a left-back, not a centre-back. Branthwaite, obviously not under consideration right now, according to The Athletic, and the price is just way too high. Unless that price drops or he forces a move, then he's not going to be going anywhere. And then Mark Gurhey is the obvious one, but there doesn't really seem to be a lot of progress on that front at all. So it leaves you to ask the question, well, who on earth is going to come in at centre-back? What centre-back are we looking at here? You know, it's a tricky one, because I would have said like Mark Gurhey is the obvious choice for many reasons. Knows the club, last 12 months of his contract, cheaper deal, leader, experience, England international, all of these things. But there's not been a lot of movement there. I honestly wouldn't be surprised if we end up signing a name who's not been mentioned really at all in the media. And like with Renato Vega, like with Pedro Neto and such, a deal just appears out of nowhere. We hear nothing, and then bang, deal done for sort of a random centre-back that no one really thought was a possibility at all. It is really interesting because there's set to be a big shuffling of the pack at centre-half. You know, there's easily three or four centre-backs who could be leaving this summer. Obviously, Mamadou Sarr's coming in. I suspect that he'll be sent back on loan to Strasbourg again. Not really understanding the thinking behind that. So, yeah, I mean, I don't know what's going to happen at the back. You know, reports yesterday saying that Chelsea would be open to offers for Fofana. I can understand why, but I don't see who's going to make an acceptable enough offer for Chelsea to consider moving him on, given his injury record. I think he's got one more chance to prove himself next season. Disasi will be going. Vega, they would probably try and force Chalobah out. If a decent offer for Tosin came in, wouldn't rule out him leaving. Badia Shil. You know, there could be 3, 4, dare I even say it, 5 centre-backs from the squad could be moving on this summer. And the most important thing is we get the right one in. But Jarrad Branthwaite for that price is just an absolute no-go. Similar with Hugo Ekitike. That price is a joke. You know, you can get the prices down, then there's more of a conversation to be had. 100% there is. But I just think for the money being quoted, absolutely no chance should we be going anywhere near a deal for Jarrad Branthwaite. No chance. You know? And at the end of the day, I do think that briefing that's come out this morning it's not about thinking fans are stupid. It's about saving face, because literally no club says publicly that they've walked away from a deal that they've got rejected. You know, I don't think Chelsea are going to make it public that they've walked away from a Branthwaite deal or that it's too expensive. You've got to cover yourself. So I do get that. But yeah, it's too expensive. I don't know if he's open to the move or not, but he seems relatively settled at Everton, and it doesn't, to me, feel like he's a sort of player that's going to would push for a move. Obviously, if the offer actually went in, then it might change his thinking. But yeah, that's just my thoughts on it, guys. Chelsea quoted 80 million for Jarrad Branthwaite, and he's not currently under consideration for obvious reasons, which are the price tag. But yeah, let me know your thoughts, guys, on Branthwaite, on the price, on who you think Chelsea will sign at centre-back. But yeah, guys, make sure you smash the like, subscribe, all that good stuff, and I'll catch you again in another one soon. Up the Chelsea, and we're out. Peace.